Welcome back, guys. This is episode 9 of Did That Just Happen? I'm Anobs, and with me, as always, Mr. Paymon Englishman.
Yeah, that is me. I'm here. I get the full name drop while Matt goes by Manobs.
Yep, that is true. You are a terrorist, so the one you're blowing up.
I appreciate it. That's good looking out. We got a good show tonight. You know, there was a huge thing that happened in the sports world that we're going to get to in a minute. But how was your week, dude?
It was alright, very uneventful. Worked a lot.
Yeah, I hear you.
Being a grown up sucks, dude.
It's terrible.
I will not lie.
It's absolutely terrible. I miss high school, the college even. Like, it was just the easiest thing in the world.
I just miss not working 40 hours a week.
Yeah,
That's what I miss.
My only salvation is every day I go to work, I log on, and you're right there.
I'm on the FB, my friend.
And we enjoy our day, and then you leave, and it sucks. But, yeah. We did last week. We did the UFC 119 review.
Yep.
We're definitely not doing the 120.
It's so bad it's free, guys.
It's a terrible card. We just don't want to pain you by listening to it, nor do we want to talk about it.
And no one cares about Michael Bisping, so.
Right, but we'll be firing back with 121. We're probably going to shoot that next week.
Can't wait for that pay-per-view, dude.
Brock Lesnar vs. Cain Velasquez for the World Heavyweight title is the main event. So Matt and I are already going opposite picks on that. That was established first day.
All the way, my friend.
So we're very, very excited about this. And let's jump right into the show.
Dude, Randy Moss.
Got traded. Out of New England. Gone back to the team that he supposedly burned his bridge with, the Minnesota Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
They shipped him out of town because he was a headache.
Yeah.
He would hold out interviews. I remember that one thing he did. He goes, "So what? I like to smoke pot during the offseason." That's his thing.
Straight cash, homie. That's
straight cash, homie. But,
best line ever.
They made a great shirt about that on Bar.
Oh, one of my friends has it, actually. Yep.
It's a sweet shirt. But yeah, he's out of town. Patriots dealt him for a 3rd round pick in this upcoming draft and a 7th round pick in the 2011 draft. What do you think about him, Matt? Does this benefit the Patriots by getting rid of Randy Moss?
It's tough to say that getting rid of one of the marquee players in the NFL is going to benefit your team. But the way I look at it is that Tom Brady has done so much more with less talent than he has now. And from what I've read, they're planning on going back to the old, style of football that won them 3 Super Bowls. Not going the deep pass all the time. And I think it's kind of sucked, but it's also, I trust Bill Belichick. It's a shitty move, but we'll see what happens. I think he can pull it out.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it kills the deep passing game. But when Brady won and the Patriots won those 3 Super Bowls, they never had a deep target.
Exactly.
They would go to Deion Branch maybe once every 2 games deep down the field. But, it was always short passes. Find David Patton, find Troy Brown, find David Gibbons.
I love David
Christian
Gibbons.
Fourier.
Christian Fourier, blast from the pass.
Blast from the passes, right. But, yeah, I mean, I think when I first heard about this, I was so upset.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you just threw the season away, which I still do. I don't think we're going to make a splash this year. Before this trade, I thought we'd be like 11-5. We got a really tough schedule. We're 3-1 right now.
Mm-hmm.
I figured, 11-5, win the division. If not, definitely the wild card.
Absolutely.
Now I think at best we're 10-6, like at absolute best. That means we have to go 7-5 in our last 12 games. We got some tough matchups. We have Jets still once, Miami still, Green Bay, Minnesota, with Randy Moss, which is going to be hell because we have nobody who can cover him.
It's going to be interesting.
No, it's going to be brutal. It's not going to be interesting
Let's
at all.
just hope he's one of the games he takes off. I doubt it because he's probably going to shove it up our ass.
I doubt it. But the good thing is he plays the Jets this Monday, and Revis. Actually, there was a thing on ESPN today that said Darrelle Revis, direct quote, Randy Moss wasn't playing. You could tell he was dogging it. He wasn't giving it his all. That last game they played against each other. Which is funny because Moss made a sick one.
Yeah, Moss smoked him, and that's okay.
But that's fine. So I'm really hoping that Moss, uses that as motivation. First game with the Vikings, but Moss is always like that. His first season with the Patriots broke all the records.
Absolutely.
His first season with Oakland he didn't do much, but nobody does anything with Oakland.
Kerry Collins sucks. That's what happens.
Yeah, let's put Kerry Collins our starter.
I was watching ESPN. I think it was yesterday. And they had Teddy Bruschi on. And he made a very valid point that I think is definitely something we should take into consideration, is that there's really no veteran leaders on the team. When he first came, Vrabel was there, Teddy Brucey was there, Ronnie Harrison was there. People to keep that dude in check. Now they all leave, and it's really him and Brady. Brady's Brady. He's going to fucking be the leader that he is.
Yeah, I agree.
But Moss, just from his past, you can tell he doesn't have that characteristic of being a leader, being someone that's going to keep other people in line. And he's someone that needs someone to, shut the fuck up, shape up. That's what he needs. And
yeah, I agree.
If he gets traded, he did get traded. But he's going to have Brett Favre, he's going to have Jared Allen. Just kind of keep that dude in check. I think it's good for him, anyways.
It is good for him, and that is a great point. Like, you did have Bruschi and Vrabel, and even Richard Seymour. He was a good leader on that team. Rodney Harrison, of course, was huge. I mean, he was. And the worst thing was we lost Vrabel, Bruschi, and Harrison all in one offseason.
It was horrible.
Talk about like the worst. Junior Seau was on that defense. He was a good leader.
Forgot about Junior,
he wasn't on the team that long, but everybody looked up to that guy. He was a good, leader, inspirational. I'll never forget. After the Giants scored that touchdown in that Super Bowl, they just zoomed in on Junior Seau because he'd never won a ring. And he was in his 18th year.
Yep.
That was it for him. That was the last season he played, I think. I think he came back for 08, actually.
Came back for like a couple games. But
yeah, he did like 3 games for like 2 years after
he's like
that.
half the year. That's fine. He's junior.
But going on, do you think, what does this trade do for the Vikings? They're right now 1-2, kind of towards the cellar of the NFC. Teams like Seattle, San Francisco, no, not San Francisco, St. Louis are ahead of these guys. Do you think this gives them what they need to get back to at least the NFC title game?
I don't know if I'd say NFC title game, but it definitely makes them a contender in their, in their division. Put a Randy Moss, he has a bona fide number one person he's been trying to get since he was in Green Bay, and he's only going to help make the receiving core better. Percy Harvin, I think he's going to turn Percy Harvin into like a Wes Welker, because everyone's going to double him. Then when Sidney Rice comes back, people are going to focus on him. It's going to be dangerous for people in that division.
I think it's going to do wonders for Minnesota. Green Bay barely squeaked out against Detroit. They lost to Chicago, so they're not the powerhouse that everybody thought they were. Green Bay still, as of right now, this moment, just because I haven't seen the Vikings play with this new team they have, Green Bay for me right now is the NFC favorite for the
100% agree with you.
Title. I think, but once Sidney Rice comes back and Randy Moss is there, you're going to have 2 deep threats. Yep. I can't remember the last time a team had 2 legitimate deep threats.
And Harvin can fucking haul ass too.
Harvin can go. And then while Rice and Moss are stretching the field, Harvin's working the middle. That leaves so much open room for Adrian Peterson.
Oh, dude. It's going to bring, because you can't stack up 7 people anymore against him. People are going to have to stand back to cover Moss and Rice.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Good luck.
I think the Vikings, right now, New Orleans isn't looking good. Their offense is rough. But, I mean, Reggie Bush is a big thing in that offense. He doesn't put up great rushing numbers, but all-purpose yards between rushing and receiving yards, he's like 1,500 a year.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
huge. And then he does kick returns, too.
He's definitely an underestimated loss for them.
Yeah.
People think, it's Reggie Bush. He doesn't do what he did in college. But look at their offense now.
Yeah, and Marquise Colson's having a rough year. It doesn't even look like Breeze is looking for him. He's looking more towards Lance Moore, Devery Henderson.
Tell me. I have Marquise Colson and Drew Brees on my fantasy team, and they were both sucking balls for me.
That was rough. I think Atlanta can still make a really big splash in the NFC, kind of, flying under the radar just because you have these, big market, high-profile teams. But I think right now, with this trade, I'm looking nothing between Green Bay and Minnesota in the NFC title game. Where does this put the Patriots? So where can they? I know we touched on what this trade does for them, but are they still a contender even to you? I mean, do you actually see them going into the playoffs where they have to play teams such as Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Indy, the Jets, and maybe Cincinnati or whoever else gets in Tennessee? Do you think New England is a threat still?
I think they need to pitch someone up. I've heard a couple rumors of Deion Branch, and I've even heard Vincent Jackson, which I really don't agree with Vincent Jackson because he's still suspended, right? When he
as soon as you sign him, he's got to sit out 4 games.
So it's basically a waste of a signing. But I think if they go back, like we said earlier, to the way they used to play when they did screen passes and they didn't always go down the field. They didn't always look for someone like that. And they didn't have a team just built around one star offensive player. I think they can do really well. I mean, they didn't need to get someone opposite Wes Welker because he cannot be a number one.
No, he can't.
He's not going to do shit if people are double teaming him. Yeah, he's awesome. He's strong as shit, and he's the fucking man. But he can't barrel through everybody. So I hope they pick somebody up to help him out. I don't know if I can see Brandon Tate right now, anyways, establishing as a big threat. He's definitely going to be a deep threat because he's fucking fast as shit.
He's very fast.
I don't know.
2 kick returns already for TDs.
I know. I think they can make him at least to the playoffs.
I think they can make the playoffs if the AFC kind of dies down. It's rough because you have Pittsburgh at 3-1, you have Baltimore at 3-1, you have Cincinnati who should be 3-1, but they're 2-2. You have San Diego, who I think is 3-1.
I don't know, actually. That might actually be 2-2.
No, they're 2-2. You're right. But San Diego's going to turn on. They always start slow, always. And that division's so weak.
Mm-hmm.
That division's so weak. I don't see New England beating Baltimore in the playoffs. I don't see New England beating San Diego in the playoffs. Definitely not Indy.
I think it's going to depend on if they get a fair seeding. You know what I mean? If they just get lucky as shit and get some team that they can beat.
I think New England can beat Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
They can beat Cincinnati.
Absolutely.
They can't beat the 3 or 4 powerhouses in the AFC though. So, but I think with Randy Moss there, at least they're on the same compete level.
Absolutely.
That's why I'm not too big on this trade because it feels like to me like they're kind of throwing the towel in on the year without actually doing it, which is what the Red Sox did this year. Trade deadline, they didn't bring anybody in.
Yeah.
We had all those injuries. It was a subliminal ownership was giving up on the year while not telling it to the fans because they still want to fill the seats, sell the concessions, sell the T-shirts, all that stuff. We had a couple people write in. Megan Young wrote straight up the worst trade they could have possibly made at the time. And I agree with her.
Sports.
Yeah, she definitely knows her sports. She is the best Bruins talker ever.
Fuck the Bruins.
You have no idea. You got to give them a chance this year, Matt.
I will go to a game if I don't have to pay for the ticket. If you take me for free, I'll go.
I'll see what I can do because the environment now at the Garden is unbelievable. Teresa wrote in. She says that in her opinion, Belichick dropped the ball, and he's too busy trying to make examples out of people. From a business standpoint, she thinks it's dumb, but from a fan standpoint, she understands why fans are very upset over this. We have the second most expensive ticket in the NFL behind the Redskins, who haven't done anything lately.
They just spend money and get nothing in return.
She also feels like Moss is going to feel pretty much like a bonehead when Favre ends up leaving, and it's just him and Adrian Peterson there with nobody throwing them the ball. So I understand that. And then Adam Hipson wrote in saying the Moss, the player, will be a big loss, but Belichick is obviously really high on next year's draft value. That's why he's gotten out and gotten so many of these picks. And he said, to be honest, I think the defense isn't championship caliber, and this trade kind of confirms that the Pats are in a bridge year, which is a good point too. I think if New England puts too much stock in the draft, especially the middle rounds. If you're gonna hit the draft, you hit it first and second round.
Yeah.
They went through a list of players drafted in the 3rd round last year. Only one is starting, and that was Jordan Shipley on the Cincinnati Bengals. I think.
And we also could have had
and
Des
Sean
Bryant,
Green for the
too.
Jets. Those are the only 2 people who are starting in the NFL in the 3rd round.
We could have had Des Bryant too. We didn't trade our pick violently.
Yeah, we could have Des Bryant. We could have had Blindside Michael Orr 3 years ago.
Love that dude. Love that movie.
Yeah.
But to touch back on the Randy Moss thing, one of the reasons why I'm not completely throwing in the towel on this season is if you look at what happened in the Super Bowl and last year in the playoffs, there's a couple of games in the playoffs where he just disappeared. No one threw to him.
He's not a great playoff player.
He's not at all. And we know when we didn't have him, when we were doing what we used to do, fucking pound the football, little slants, little screen passes all the time, we were winning games, moving the chains. So that's why I'm not 100% giving up on the season yet. I still think anything can happen with Tom Brady.
But when we were doing that and pounding the ball, we had running backs Antoine Smith, who was a power runner. We had Corey Dillon, power runner. Right now, we don't have that power runner. If you look at it,
we have the law firm, who's awesome.
Yes, we do. I'm a big Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. He ran great the other night against Miami.
He's looking good. Now he actually
hard.
has a chance.
I'm interested to see what happens with the Patriots. I could very well see them after 10 games being 7-3. I could very well see them being 5-5.
Yep.
So
they need to get another receiver though. They can't just let it be as is.
Quickly, we got to go. One person that you sign. Who's it going to be?
If I'd take anyone, I'd say Deion Branch.
You taking out Deaver?
Says he knows the
If it's
system.
me,
For some
I've heard a
reason.
rumor Steve Smith wants out of Carolina.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Sign
Steve,
him up.
Sign Steve. And
Sign
Carolina's
him up.
looking to cut costs, so they want to get rid of him cheap.
Oh,
We'll be
baby,
right
sign
back
him
with
up.
part 2.